So on Friday, Sledgehammer Games teased that the Cavalry is coming with the image that you see on screen right now. Now this stirred up a lot of talk within the community, and it's something that a lot of people took their guesses, their theories, and their stabs at to see what exactly this was. Well, with nearly no real information confirmed, a lot of those theories actually came a lot closer than you may think. And so today I can tell you for certain that some were right, some were close, but I can tell you it's pretty awesome regardless, because I've played with it and you're definitely going to want to play with it when it comes out on Tuesday. So in today's video, I'm excited to give you a full explanation and a showcase of the brand new Cavalry Division in COD World War II. So there's a lot to talk about and a lot that will give you incentive to play with it, so let's just jump right into it. First things first, yes, it is a brand new division, the 7th that we have available now come Tuesday in Call of Duty World War II. One of the biggest things being that it'll be free to use for everyone come Tuesday, or at least that's my understanding, because it'll be a part of the title update that takes Attack of the Undead offline and then returns Call of Duty World War II to a state of that normalcy once again as we get that downtime between events, and then PlayStation 4 will also get that DLC. But that's across the board, not just for PlayStation 4 like we see will also get the DLC on Tuesday. So let's start with what the community got right and a little bit of what the community got wrong. Firstly, the theories that I saw were right that it was a new division and we'd get a riot shield. So firstly, of course, it is that new division, the Cavalry Division, and shout out to the keen-eyed detectives that caught the patch on the player's arm in the promo image. And secondly, yes, the shield is playable and usable now with this new division in World War II. The only caveat is that it's only usable in the Cavalry Division, and it's not optional. You'll have to take it and you'll have to sacrifice a weapon of your primary or secondary because it's by default your primary. We'll explain that a little bit further in just a minute, but you'll find that it's not all that bad, honestly. But that said, the brand new 7th Division will allow you to have a solid number of perks as you rank it up, and a lot of what we actually saw with the dubbed Commando Division in the game files from a while back actually has nothing to do at all with this. So it's kind of either a distraction in the code or a port that we see in terms of the creation of different things that are also in the game. One of those things that we saw being the Specialist Basic Training, which we detailed in yesterday's video, but it's something that's definitely weird that it was throwing us off the path this whole time. But what we have with this division, it's heavily focused on objective play, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, it's actually amazing for objective play. So what you get with the division when you end up ranking it up through its ranks, at rank 1, you obviously get your shield that will offer protection against enemies, and fun fact, this actually does not get destroyed over time at the moment, and it doesn't even become less visible after taking damage like it would in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So in that aspect alone, it's pretty awesome. It can block a number of different things, and one thing that I even talked to a few people about, supposedly it can even block fighter pilot shots. But that's off the word I've heard. I tried it myself and died, but it's possible the shots hit behind me and the splash damage got the better of me there. So it's something that I don't know exactly just yet if that's the case, but it was something that seemingly blocked pretty much everything that it did hit. The only thing that I will say that was a little bit different than that of what we saw in previous titles with riot shields is that you can't actually ricochet things, or at least we didn't find you could ricochet things when we were playtesting it. So when we end up seeing that, if somebody shoots off your shield, it doesn't hit an enemy, or in your case, a teammate, and do damage to them. It's not something where it does that. It's kind of more so just a sponge in that aspect where it makes the animation of ricochet, but it doesn't actually do it. It just takes all the damage up front in that shield. Now at rank 2, you also get the ability to shield charge to ram enemies while sprinting. So yes, you can get kills with this shield, even without the sprint that is, but the shield charge acts exactly like the bayonet charge, except to my knowledge, it's still a 2-hit kill instead of just a one-shot that you normally see with the bayonet charge. So that's the slight difference there, and unfortunately that's just how it is. But at rank 3, you get improved objective capabilities, meaning that you'll capture flags and objectives faster, and this is actually ridiculous. I'm not sure what the max amount that affects the caps is, and if there even is one, but when we played, you could cap a base in about 25% of the normal time if you had the right amount of players running cavalry as well. So it's actually insane for objective play in that regard. So if you're an objective player, pop this on and you'll probably save the day. And finally, at max rank of 4, you'll be able to get the abilities to give extra score as well as getting 2 assists equaling a kill, so essentially the former Hardline Pro being added into World War II with this division. Now, I've yet to see if this affects V2 streaks, but it's definitely going to be useful in that sense, and I would imagine it does if it is like Hardline Pro. Additionally, you also get that more score, but it is small, but it's totally noticeable in difference in when you capture flags, you get objective kills, that sort of stuff. So it's definitely worth running if you're trying to play objectively and you're looking to and get score. One thing that I definitely found really helped out was whenever you end up using Specialist, the basic training we talked about yesterday that of course rewards you in basic trainings and not score streaks. If you end up using Cavalry with that, you'll get this so much faster if you can chain together streaks. So that's the ranking of how things work out in your abilities for Cavalry Division. But one thing that I also want to come back to, like we mentioned earlier, how weapons work in Cavalry in particular. Because like we said, the shield is by default that primary, so you sacrifice either your primary or your secondary in theory. But in all actuality, you don't necessarily really lose all that much because it's not something that you're limited just to a secondary that could be considered weaker and put you at a disadvantage. As it stands right now, the secondary slot with Cavalry is available for any weapon in the game. So SMGs, rifles, LMGs, snipers, shotguns, secondaries, you name it, and you can have it. So in regard to that, it's pretty insane in how versatile it actually is and being able to play around with whatever playstyle you want, plus getting a riot shield in that sense. And for that reason, it might even be in my top 3 immediately for divisions overall. Now, another awesome thing that really isn't something you'll see immediately in terms of what's listed out in terms of descriptions or anything like that is that the shield is a lot more useful in-game than you might actually think. Now, when you think about riot shields, you might think of those people that just run around in-game and try and troll people, trap people in corners, whatever it may be that you may remember from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. However, with this, it is incredibly useful because it also turtles on your back. So whenever you end up running around with, say, one of the weapons that you end up having, say a PPSH, a BAR, a Volkssturmgewehr, whatever you're running on top of that class setup with the shield, it'll automatically put the shield on your back, and then it protects you from people shooting at your back. So it's something that it really works even while you're not using it and while you're not directly aiming at somebody you're trying to block out of a certain situation. So in that sense, you'll see a lot of gameplay from the YouTubers that we end up playing around with at this event that some people couldn't really pull off those kills from behind because you'd get the notification somebody's shooting at you whenever you get hit with that shield. You can turn on them and then get that, to which you actually have the upper hand with that. But the only thing that I will say is that you still can die at your feet. So if they played a little consciously, or if you guys actually try and go for somebody using this and want to still take them out from behind, just aim at their feet. Try to be as accurate as possible because it is kind of tough to hit those hitboxes when they're on the go or something, but it is definitely possible. The shield turtle is definitely probably one of the biggest things here out of this that makes it almost overpowered in terms of a division. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but it is something that of course is absolutely fantastic as a secondary bonus even to something that you get added on top of this brand new division. So definitely bear that in mind whenever you choose to do this, is that it will offer you that extra benefit there. But that said, what do you get when you prestige this division? Because that is what a lot of people are interested in. And again, some people may have guessed it a little bit, but we end up getting 2 things here. Firstly, you get a brand new weapon, a brand new SMG, the ZK383, and this thing is insanely good. One thing that you might notice is when you equip this, it doesn't have a rapid fire attachment, but that's because it's built in. It's a hybrid weapon that will allow you to toggle between a slow firing and a fast firing mode on this SMG. Now the differences are obviously a faster fire rate when you toggle it, but the other noticeable difference immediately is the recoil. In the slow firing, there is a next to no recoil, even without grip. It's pretty much a laser pointer at that. And in the fast firing mode, it's like an exaggerated WAF recoil. So it's very, very apparent that you'll have a ton of recoil with the fast firing. So it's a very big trade-off there. One thing that I will say is that it takes a few shots to kill. So while you may prefer slow firing for the recoil, you'll also need to give time in your engagements to get that extra shot off, whereas in fast firing, it's maybe not so much of an issue. So that's where it kind of is a balancing act between the 2 modes and what you might prefer in particular. Now additionally, there are some sick variants for this as well. I'm not sure if they'll all be dropped immediately, and if so, which ones will actually be dropped, but I don't think that I can show you them regardless, but it'll be great to see those added in at some time, and probably Tuesday, so keep an eye out for those. And additionally, I know a lot of people are asking me this in the comment sections of the videos and the streams and all that kind of stuff, but to my knowledge, this is the only weapon we're getting on Tuesday. We did not have access to any other DLC weapons other than that, but if you're looking for more, I would imagine that we'll see some in the next week to maybe 3 weeks as we get ready for a transition into the next event in Call of Duty World War II. Usually we end up seeing that again, average time of about 2 weeks between events, so Attack of the Undead is ending on Tuesday, which might mean that we end up seeing another one being added in 2 weeks after that. But as for the next thing that you end up getting in terms of the prestige for this division, you actually get the Specialist Basic Training. Now some people caught it in yesterday's video breakdown is that it was at the bottom of the basic training list, and that's where we usually see this is reserved for division basic trainings. that's the only thing I'm kind of a tad disappointed with, in the sense that it's going to be a balancing act for this basic training where you can't jump in immediately and get it right off the bat. You do need to put some time in with the Cavalry Division to end up unlocking it, but ultimately I think that you'll get it in no time, and it really shouldn't be all that much of a problem, especially if we end up getting some double division XP or something like that on top of all of this. But overall, it's a ton of fun and practical as well. I mean, I had many counters and standoffs at B flag with other shield users, to which it became a sort of dance around the flag, which was absolutely hilarious. But I also got saved by, say, the shield turtled on my back and the extra XP and extra score you end up getting for the captures and all that kind of stuff. And of course, the ZK and the specialist basic training are ridiculously good and totally worth prestiging. So ultimately, I think this is a fantastic addition. It might be something you might get tired of immediately right off the bat come Tuesday and maybe say the next week, because everybody's going to be using it, but it is something that is definitely worth giving a go for yourself if you have the opportunity to do so. So again, this comes out on Tuesday with the update for Call of Duty World War II, and I'm super excited that this is now out there and I can talk about it, all that kind of stuff. Yesterday, we had so many comments asking about this, and I just could not talk about it until today. So that said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you found this insightful. Huge thank you to Sledgehammer and Activision for the hospitality, bringing me out to the studio so I could bring this sort of stuff to you and give you this information a little bit early and prep you for what's on the horizon on Tuesday. A lot of cool stuff coming, and I'm very excited to share it all with you and grind out the game a little bit further. So that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you like this Cavalry Division? Do you think you're going to be playing it? Do you think you're going to be playing it all the time? Do you think that you might use it once or twice? Whatever it may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel as well, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding DLC 3 content here within Call of Duty World War II. We're going to be killing it. We have still so much stuff to do today, tomorrow, and into the launch of DLC 3 on Tuesday. So stick it right here up on the channel if any of that interests you. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter as well, that's the best place to get character outside of YouTube, practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram as well, a little more active over there, so if you guys want to follow on that front also, that link is also in the description below. But that's it, out of the way. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.